Immigration officials plan to intensify their efforts to crack down on illegal migration. How? The answer coming up in the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition.
And coming up in sports, the Bahamas Games may return very soon, so don't go anywhere. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Every Day.
Good evening, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis, and welcome to the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition. Thanks so much for tuning in. Topping the news tonight, within the last week, law enforcement officials have intercepted close to 200 illegal migrants, again bringing to light just how vexing this issue of illegal migration is. But as Siesker Adderley tells us tonight, the Foreign Affairs and Immigration Minister says these latest apprehensions has brought about a new dimension to the problem that must be tackled head-on, because the situation, in his words, is getting out of control.
Minister of Foreign Affairs and Immigration Fred Mitchell confirmed to our news team Sunday that as early as Monday, 28 women and 37 children could be repatriated to Haiti. These migrants, along with 108 men, were apprehended last week Wednesday in Bimini. And while combating illegal migration is not a new problem, Minister Mitchell expressed concern about this particular repatriation.
And the interesting thing about it is some of the children are actually babes in arms. Now, so, you know, this is now a new dimension to this problem. And the reason why I wanted to actually address this is those of you who've been watching the international news will know that sadly 650 people died in the Mediterranean Sea trying to get to Italy. So this migrant issue is just going completely out of control. We continue to believe that this is being driven by a criminal enterprise that we must find some way to interrupt.
With Royal Bahamas Defense Force officials watching the seas and immigration officers intensifying their illegal migrant checks, the immigration minister says migrants are devising more creative ways to enter the country illegally. But as the fight continues, officials are managing the problem the best they can.
We believe that because the RBDF has the place so hot, so to speak, around the usual areas, that they were trying to drift around to find a spot. There was another vessel that was interdicted that has had a thorough going over. It was a freighter by our customs, immigration, the police, and the defense force, because it appeared to us that this freighter was also a suspicious boat. So we're trying to be as intense as we can to put the pressure to keep on top of this problem.
Noting that illegal migration is, in his words, getting completely out of control, Minister Mitchell believes it is vitally important for Bahamians to support the government's efforts in winning the illegal migration war.
I'm even thinking of suggesting to my colleagues that we need to put in place a reward system so that people who spot this kind of activity are able to get a reward if it leads to breaking up these smuggling rings. But that's where we are now. We have to get on top of this problem. It's a national security issue. The country cannot be seen as a staging ground for people going and doing illegal things in other people's countries.
Meantime, Minister Mitchell confirmed the Department of Immigration will continue to work in collaboration with both its local and international partners to combat this escalating problem. Siesker Adderley, ZNS Network News.
The immigration minister's comments come one day after Royal Bahamas Defense Force Marines on a reconnaissance aircraft saw two suspicious vessels near Eleuthera that were later intercepted. 4 undocumented passengers were found along with discrepancies on the vessel's ownership. The 2 vessels were subsequently escorted to Nassau, where police, immigration, and customs officials are conducting further investigations for illegal drugs, immigration status of crew members, cargo verification, and vessel ownership. Now, according to Defense Force statement, immigration officials admitted 1 Haitian national to the Carmichael Road Detention Center as a result of this discovery on Saturday. December 27, 2013 will be a date that will forever be etched in the minds of Foxillians as four of its own, Shaquille Demerit, Eric Morrison, Claudzino Davis, and Shanique Sands, were gunned down in a shootout in Freedom Park on that date. To honor their memory, the government began constructing a monument which is approximately 50% completed. Member of Parliament for Fox Hill, the Honorable Fred Mitchell, and contractor Warren Davis updated our news team on the progress.
Hopefully this, when it's done, there's an obelisk for each individual that was fallen, and those families will be able to have the names placed, and that there'll be a plaque to commemorate them. And we want to make this a real permanent memorial so that the children, the generations coming, will remember them and remember that we are committed to peace in our neighborhood and to the larger development of Fox Hill. So I'm really grateful for them for taking time out this afternoon to just come have.
It'll be a whole garden area, you understand? As you look, we are halfway completed. All right? So hopefully in the next 2 months everything should be completed.
Each victim will have their own monument that will sit in a garden accessible for all. Mitchell says he is hoping to have the area completed in time for the Fox Hill Festival come August. And as you can imagine, visiting Sunday's site wasn't easy for the victims' families. Shaquille Demerit's mother, Sonia Camp, expressed her gratitude for this gesture, but couldn't fight back the tears while remembering her son.
Even though my son is gone, he's not with us here anymore physically, but just to have a spot that just have a spot that I could pass by, I could stop by and remember my son by. It means a whole lot to me.
The sweet smell of success is what Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival Commission members are feeling tonight after a dynamic music masters event in Grand Bahama. The two-night affair drew hundreds to Taino Beach to participate in this inaugural cultural experience. And as Janaea Noel Ferguson reports from Grand Bahama tonight, officials are now ready for the major celebrations here in New Providence in less than 2 weeks.
The first Bahamas Carnival event is now in the history books, with organizers already preparing for an even bigger and better event next year. The cultural village at Taino Beach in Grand Bahama came alive for the second night as artists entered the stage, all vying for a spot in the top 10. But it was not all about the competition. The first carnival event was also an opportunity for much-needed expansion of Grand Bahama's economy, something that Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie is pleased about.
What you're seeing is vendors are selling out their materials. You're seeing hotels are filled, no more rooms. You're seeing all the cars rented. So there's a significant economic impact. And on top of that, this contest is about to produce new Bahamian stars, because this contest will happen every year. New Bahamians who write songs, who produce songs, who sing songs will come up. And so again, the economic impact in terms of the cultural industries will have a profound impact on the economy.
The nation's leader acknowledged that there was some resistance to the carnival concept, but the tremendous showing of support in Grand Bahama is proof that the event can be successful.
Last night I was very, very impressed. Tonight I'm overwhelmed by what I'm seeing. I really want to thank the people of Grand Bahama, not just Freeport, but of Grand Bahama, for so magnificently responding to the call of Junkanoo Carnival.
Locals and visitors turned out in droves to enjoy the festivities. Bahamas Festival Commission Chairman Paul Major believes the Music Masters Contest can now be the go-to event for Grand Bahama.
This is a tremendous period in the history of the Bahamas for musicians, and a lot of them would have been new musicians as opposed to the people that we're familiar with hearing. So, you know, this is like a renaissance in music, and that is what this was about, to create an economic framework for musicians, artists, junkanoos, handicraft people, cuisine people, to be able to make a living from culture as opposed to just doing it for culture's sake.
The commission chairman added that despite the controversy, the show went on and was well supported on both nights.
Last night at this time we probably had about 1,500 people here.
Right, we did.
Now we have about 3,000.
Double that number.
Last night at the end of the day, by the time we got to the main event, we had 5,000 to 6,000 people here. I look forward to at least 7,000 to 8,000 people here tonight. From our ticket sales, it was over 5,000. And we know that there were a lot of complimentary tickets, so it had to have been over 5,000.
When it was all said and done, 9 finalists were announced, with one artist, Colin McDonald, placing for 2 of his entries. The finalists now move on to compete in New Providence for $20,000. Now the night ended with the highly anticipated performance of the T-Connection Band. Organizers say all systems are a go for May 7th through the 9th. Reporting from Grand Bahama, I'm Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
When we come back, Eleutherians celebrating Earth Day. That story and more when the Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, continues.